Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to my series of videos covering the most important things you may have missed in Elden Ring. Today we'll be covering the western and southern parts of the outskirts of Leyndell, the royal capital. If you're a returning viewer of the channel, I'd just like to say thank you so much for being here. And if you enjoy this one, let me know in the comments and by giving this video a like. And if it's your first time here, welcome, it's a pleasure to have you. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and I hope you enjoy. Now I'll meet you at the Altus Highway Junction Site of Grace in the south of the Altus Plateau, and we'll head into tip 1. From here, we're going to head east all the way up this big structure here, and make our way towards the map for the Royal Capital region. And you can watch me reacquaint myself with the game after 2 weeks off, and get absolutely obliterated by the ballista here. With that initial fumble out the way, we'll just head up the stairs and clear out all of these soldiers. There's no items to grab, or at least nothing of note, so you don't have to do this. Once I've cleared the stairs, we'll then swing around the left hand side. You can either take care of or just run past the rune bear that I've just encountered here, and then when you get right to the end, you can hop over the wall here back onto the stairs, and you'll be faced with 2 tree sentinels. As I mentioned a second ago, this is my first time back with the game in a couple of weeks because I went and got married, so my first attempt with the tree sentinels doesn't go quite to plan. Now that they've unalived me, we'll respawn and try that again. This time the fight goes much more swimmingly and you join me here already having defeated one of them just as I'm taking out the second. And once he gets his ass thoroughly whooped, you'll be rewarded with the Erdtree Great Shield and a Hero's Rune 1. Now you can head through the main doors here, and just a little bit further ahead you'll get 2 golden seeds, a Site of Grace, and you'll discover the map for the region. So now we can start to get into the real juicy tips for this video. From the Site of Grace that you just activated, head pretty much directly south towards this camp. There's a couple of soldiers here, but they will be very swiftly crushed underneath the weight of a massive ulcerated tree spirit that has just spawned in from the abyss. This fight goes very well for me. I only got hit once. I'm like, damn yes, I'm getting back into the swing of things. This is it. This is me back in action. Oh, just you wait. A few of the later fights in this video aren't gonna go as well. Anyway, once he's dead, you'll be rewarded with another golden seed. And if you swing round to the other side of this caravan, you can loot the chest and grab yourself the giant crusher weapon. Now I'll meet you back at that Site of Grace and we'll head to the northeast for the next part of this video. As you're heading northeast up these stairs, about halfway up a gargoyle will spawn in. You know, I said a minute ago that not all of the fights will go quite as swimmingly as that one did. This guy, I used all 10 healing potions. I just had a complete brain fart during this fight and made so many mistakes. Luckily, however, still got him on the first attempt, but he really gave me a run for my money a couple of times. And when I do finally manage to take him down, you'll be rewarded with the Gargoyle's Great Axe. Now you can head up to the top of these stairs and you can grab 2 more golden seeds. And I'll meet you there for the next tip. Now that we're here, face southeast and head further up the stairs still. As you get about halfway up here, you'll see one of the scarabs that you have to take out with ranged attacks just on the ledge up here. So I'll get my bow out and one-shot him, and then we'll be rewarded with the Ash of War golden parry. Now you can take out a couple of the wandering nobles here and go and grab a Lost Ashes of War right at the back of the area if you wish. I must admit I have not once ever used a Lost Ashes of War in this game, so personally I don't think it's a particularly valuable item, but it's there if you need it. Now head back down and carry on northeast. And a little bit further up here, you'll see one of Gostok's brethren from Stormvale Castle, and you'll start hearing Margit's voice talking to you. This guy will transform into Margit, and be prepared for a little mini boss fight here. He can be quite tough. He's not as tough as the initial Margit boss fight, because obviously by now we're a lot stronger, but don't underestimate him. He's still hard, and he can be staggered, but god, it takes some pummeling to be able to stagger him. And then once you do manage to take him down, you'll get the Viridian Amber Medallion +1. Now you can head further north up the main path still. I'll take out these few wandering nobles on the way just because I'm mean, and then hop up this ledge and you'll find yourself a Site of Grace. So rest here and then we'll move on to the next tip. You can choose to speak to Malenia whilst you're here if you want, and she'll quote you some more lines from Queen Marika. Then you can leave this Site of Grace and head into the ruined camp here and grab yourself a golden rune 7. Now we're going to head to the north, and just where I've put these 2 markers here are 2 bosses that you can only encounter at night. We're going to go to the one on the right first, and we're going to find ourselves faced with a DEATHBIRD. On the way, make sure you take out all the skeletons, because this is a tough fight as it is. You don't want all the skeletons joining in as well. And then what I strongly advise before you actually engage the DEATHBIRD is run around taking out all of these skeletal snails, because this is a tough DEATHBIRD as it is, and these guys can make this fight nearly impossible. I really struggle with the start of this fight and have to use a lot of my healing items before I even engage with the DEATHBIRD, because these skeletal snails are so annoying. I grabbed myself the winged crystal tier as well, which we'll have a look at once we finish the boss fight. So now they're all done, we can actually engage. So now they're all dead, we can all... So now they're all dead, we can actually engage the DEATHBIRD. And I'm not saying that now you've cleared out all the skeletals... fucking snails. Snail is the hardest word in the English language to say. And I'm not saying that now we've cleared out all the skeletal snails that this will be an easy fight. He's still a damn hard DEATHBIRD, so good luck. And once you do take him out, you will get the Twin Bird Kite Shield, which is very unique in that just by wearing it, it basically gives you the red tear stone ring effect. So when you have low HP, you will do extra damage and also have extra defense. And now we'll also check out the winged crystal tier as well, which temporarily reduces your equip load when you use your mixed physic. Now we can head over to the west, go and find a merchant, and then try and deal with a bell-bearing hunter. So I'll meet you there. Once you get to the merchant, he's got a few things that I strongly advise buying. If you do use a lot of items in this game, you can grab yourself a perfume bottle. He also sells 3 rune arcs, which are absolutely invaluable. Loads of different arrows and bolts as well. A note which will give you some advice about the depths of the royal capital. And also a couple of different cool armor sets. Also, maybe most importantly, and something that you guys have actually helped me learn throughout doing this series, he sells the Sentry's Torch. You don't need to meet the stat requirements for this to be effective, and just by wielding it, you'll be able to see and lock on to normally invisible enemies. This is absolutely crucial for certain enemies and bosses in the game. You can also even reveal players using the Concealing Veil talisman. It won't reveal teardrop scarabs, and it won't usually reveal things such as invisible walls or floors. However, it does reveal all the illusionary walls in the Sage's Cave. So this is a really great torch that will help you out in some very specific circumstances throughout the rest of your playthrough, so make sure you do grab it. And once you've finished buying everything you want from the merchant, rest up, make sure it's still nighttime, and then we'll try and deal with the bell-bearing hunter. This first attempt wasn't going particularly well for me, because I ended up aggroing a load of skeletons, and then the pissing doorbell went. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to stand here, kill me, I don't care, I'll try again. So I'll pass the time until it's nighttime again, rest up, and go in for round 2. This guy is still an absolute bastard. He is one of the most challenging bosses in the game. If you're willing to be very patient, as a melee user, one tactic I found really helpful that may help you out: try and stay just far enough away from him that he uses his shield slam ability, because he leaves himself exposed for quite a while after trying to slam into you. So when you see him start winding up to use it, back off so that you're just out of range, then you can get in quite a decent combo before running away again and avoiding his follow-up attacks. After a few attempts, good luck, hopefully you'll take him down, and then you'll be rewarded with the Medicine Peddler's Bell Bearing. Now we've dealt with everything up here, we're going to head back down the south again for the next couple of tips. I'll meet you at the Outer Wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace, and we're going to head pretty much directly east into the pools of water in the canyon over here. As we're running down, you'll briefly see a glimpse of the footsteps of an invisible scarab, and that's exactly what we're down here for. So I'm just going to make a note of his route and then wait in place and hopefully catch him on his next route around. As he gets close, I'm going to chuck down my lava pool, and as he runs into it, boom, all dead, and then we're rewarded with the Ash of War Prayerful Strike. Now, staying in this ravine, just run pretty much directly south from where you just took out the scarab, and in no time at all, you'll see the entrance to the sealed tunnel. Head in here, activate the summoning sign, activate the Site of Grace, and then we'll progress through together. I'm just quickly going to change my wondrous physic mix because I say I'm going to do it every single video and keep forgetting. So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to equip and try out the Ruptured Crystal tier, which is the one that makes it explode when you use it. And I'm going to be using this on the last boss in this dungeon, and it's so fun. I'm never not using this. It's ridiculous. Alrighty, start progressing through the tunnel, taking out all of the crystal miners as you go and looting all the smithing stones. The only thing to note in this first room is a chest with the smithing stone miners bell bearing 2 and an illusionary wall just behind it. Once you've cleared everyone out and got all the loot, head through into the next area with the lift. You can hop down the platforms around the edges here and grab yourself a smithing stone 5. Carefully keep dropping down the platforms until you get to the bottom. Grab a golden rune 5 from this corpse here and smack the hidden wall, and there's a few different routes we can take in this next area. I end up missing something very important, but then I'll die very shortly and we'll come back to it. So we'll jump down these branches and grab a gold pickled foulfoot, deal with these vulgar militiamen, and then you can jump up and over the tree branches here, and if you swing back around on yourself you can get 2 old fangs from this corpse on the other side of the branches. Now be very careful of all these explodey statues as you're looting this area, and once you've grabbed all the stones and all the items, we'll smash through yet another illusionary wall, and it's just here as I'm trying to very carefully jump down these branches that I plummet to my death. But it works out quite well because I missed a huge side area that I'm now going to revisit and show you. So now that I've respawned at the site of grace, I'll blitz through this first area, take the lift down this time, and when we get to these tree branches where we picked up the gold pickled foulfoot, jump off to the right hand side, take out a couple of vulgar militiamen, and you can grab a stone sword key here. And then once you've dealt with these enemies again, you can drop down into the room below. You'll see a statue here that needs smashing, and an Abductor Virgin will show herself. So aggro her and lead her towards the statue so she can smash it up for you. Then once you've taken her out, you can get 3 smithing stone 6, and you can grab the other items on the ground here, including a rune arc. Once you've looted everything down here, start heading up the ladder, and we can start progressing back through to the area where I plummeted to my death a minute ago. So once again, I'll jump over the tree branches blocking the way. I'll just sprint through this room with all the explodey statues and grab my souls, sorry, my runes. And now that we're here, very carefully hop down these platforms, grabbing the smithing stones and the items as you go. When you get to about the 3rd tree branch down, if you're very careful and you run and jump, you can jump over to the rocks jutting out from the cliff here and grab yourself 4 lightning grease. Then when you get all the way to the bottom, grab the golden rune 9 and very quickly run away before all the statues explode. That is all of the loot in this dungeon. We can now head forwards and into the boss room, and we'll be faced up against the Oxyx Lord. I found this guy really easy when my attacks actually managed to connect. I was taking huge chunks of his health off and he was being staggered almost every single attack, but damn, he was rapid and he avoided so many of my attacks. So I made this look way harder than it should have been. And right near the end, I'll use my physic. The explosion triggers right after I connect with an attack, and it very nearly kills him and yeets us both flying. I had so much fun doing that. That is definitely going to come back in future videos. One more swing and he's dead, and you'll be rewarded with the Oxyx Lord's greatsword. Now you can head outside here and activate the Site of Grace just down the road, and you've just granted yourself access to the Divine Tower of West Altus. You'll want to come back here once you've defeated the main boss of Volcano Manor, Lord Rykard. You currently can't access this tower. This is where you will go to activate his Great Rune once he's dead. Now we'll head back to the Outer Wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace, and we'll go all the way to the south for the last tip for this video. As we're heading south towards the last tip and beating up the wolves and grabbing a few items on the way, I just want to quickly mention YouTube's new Super Thanks feature and say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to the few people on this channel that have already blessed me with a Super Thanks. Now, this isn't a plug, it's just me wanting to say thank you and to explain to anyone who isn't aware of what this actually is, because I honestly had no clue. So a Super Thanks is a way to give a donation, great or small, to a channel that you enjoy and want to show your support and your thanks. And the fact that people have deemed this channel, my content, worthy of that, honestly blows me away. So genuinely, thank you so much. I also think it's a great middle ground instead of using channel memberships, because there are so damn many subscription services nowadays that it can be really daunting and off-putting committing to yet another monthly subscription. So this way you can just provide a one-off donation instead. That being said, a huge shout out and a huge thank you to the people here who are members of this channel. Seriously, wow, you are so awesome. Thank you so much. Alright, with that spiel out the way, we are now at the minor Erdtree Church. As we're here, we can grab the Missionaries Cookbook 4, and then further along you can get the Golden Order seal, which as you'd expect boosts the effectiveness of Golden Order incantations. Now we just want to light the Site of Grace here, and you can also grab a load of golden centipedes around the bottom of the tree. And with that, we're done. We'll revisit the rest of the Leyndell outskirts in a later video, including the rest of the north and all of the eastern area. But we've got a couple of extra special videos coming up in the next few days, so that probably won't be until later on next week. If you didn't already know, if you've missed the pinned comments from the last few videos, we now have an official upload schedule, and we'll be uploading 6:30 p.m. UK time, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.